We going
Let's do it.
live, man. We going live. Y'all, welcome to another edition of the Elite Mancast. Every Wednesday at 8:30, man. Y'all come over here, join in, and tell a friend. Like, subscribe, and share. All of that good stuff, man. Say, man, y'all know, man, it's Men's Mental Health Month. Let me get this camera right so we can see me live. Yeah, man. Men Mental Health Month is June. We're gonna make sure that we bring awareness to every man in this public place, so we can not be committing suicide and not being depressed and not being PTSD heavy. You know, we gotta slow down, fellas, and start looking within ourselves and stop looking outside for validation from anybody. Because can't no woman make you happy, can't no money make you happy, can't no materials make you happy. Only you can make you happy, man, so that you can lead the family in the proper facet of life. So you can lead the family properly and make sure that all the children can grow up to be healthy young men and young women, you know. Say, man, y'all know we got the panel. We got Diddy. We don't know if it's P. Diddy. We just know it's Diddy. And we got Mr. Money.
It depends on which one has a warrant.
Yeah.
You the other one, right?
Yeah, man, how's it going? This week, the reason I chose Diddy tonight is because during my research, not only on the subject, but of course about Diddy, people are looking at the fact that, you know, he's a monster. And maybe, but it's all because of his mental health. Because a lot of the things that he's doing now, he's acting out some of the things that most of the things that he's been through, even as a child, you know, the molestation and, you know, his mom was a madam, you know, different things like that. And so it started to affect his mental. And then, you know, money, power, respect. Once you get the money and the money and the power, I mean, we already know how far it can go. I mean, it can go even further. Yeah. But some of the things that Diddy's doing now, I mean, you know, whether it's drugs or trafficking, sex, or, you know, whatever it is, it's all mental. Not saying that it can't be helped, but had he started back then, you know, maybe it would have been a little better, but it's mental health. I mean, nobody put the gun to these people's head. Sure, he may have held a couple of people over the balcony, but still, it's not a gun. So, I mean, you know, like I said, mental health is definitely it's there for everybody. You may not have all the symptoms, but you have to look at it like in microdoses. It's not going to just all hit you all at once. I mean, small things, you know, and then it occurs kind of like, you know, a snowball or an avalanche. So
yeah,
that's what I'm all about. What you got, Uncle Mike?
Hey, well, you know, Mental Health Month, this is all about bringing awareness because men are more likely to commit suicide due to their mental health. And we got a lot of things going on. So this month is all about bringing awareness, sparking conversations, and encouraging men to get out there and seek early intervention and support. But, you know, we've talked about mental health in a lot of different aspects over the last 3 years. But, you know, we've never talked about the effect that women have on men's mental health. And that's something that I would like to talk about because, you know, women, they have such an effect on men that, like they say, sometimes they can make you or they can break you. And the thing is, most men think that they're in control. You know, like you got husbands talking about, I'm the head of my household, at least when my wife say so. So they know that everything revolves around the women. And even though men are responsible for their own health and their own mental wellness, it still all goes back to a lot of times what a woman says, does, how she treats a man. And this can send a man into a downward spiral.
I don't want to cut your wisdom, brother, but this is not 1955, man. You got to be a man. What is man talk?
That is the problem.
Talk right there, man.
No. That is the problem because we've been taught as children to grow up to be a man. We don't cry. We don't show our emotions. All those things we consider to be feminine. I still believe those things. But women are taught the same thing. Your man shouldn't be crying. Your man should be doing this. He should be providing. So the
Nah,
women are basically holding the men to the same higher levels. So now, if you don't go out there, what can a woman do? She can cause your whole world to crumble
nah,
just by the way she treats you.
nah.
You don't believe that?
The thing about a man, brother, the man buys the house. The man makes sure that his house has structure and foundation. No woman that's a real queen, that's a real woman, she won't come in and try to disturb anything. She won't even have that. You're talking about toxicity. You're talking about women who are not raised to be wives. You're talking about women who don't even know what a wife looks like. We're not talking about them type of, we're talking about a man who's mentally stable. If he's mentally stable, he's going to make sure that he pours into that woman's stability. And with stability, she's going to submit to anything that he says. She can't crumble anything unless he's allow it. I just did a live just a minute ago. It's because of this post that I seen where this guy was minding his business. It was a whole wreck down the street. He's sitting there cutting the yard like none of that's disturbing him. Once you become disturbed by a woman's words, then that's when you're starting to lose who you are as a man. If you don't never allow that woman's words to disturb you, she can't crumble or crush anything because you're mentally strong as a man and you're emotionally intelligent as a man. So that way you can control whatever she says. You control how this whole environment works because you have an emotional intelligence about yourself. And you can control all of the situations around you without being disturbed. Now, if she don't like how the structure or the format, how this goes, then that's when you can tell her, baby, you got ultimatums. You got choices. You don't have to be in this household. So I won't allow you to crush my world. I won't allow your words to do anything but disturb your own self because I know how to be silent. I know how to not speak. See, that goes back to mental health. That goes back to mentally strong. If you're not mentally strong, yeah, anything can crush your world. Not just a woman, your children can crush your world. We're taught to be strong. We're taught to be tough and all of that. But the thing is, true, like you said, we all are vulnerable at times. We do have the moments, but then that's when you have to collect yourself real quick and be like, hey, you know what, man? Nah, I ain't finna let that. You're not finna disturb my peace. You're not finna disturb the peace of this household. And if we go back into the real roots of the life, the woman, she goes about her way after that child turns 12 and 13. If we go back to the motherland, to where the children comes with the man after, I mean the boys come with the men and the daughter goes with the mother. You know?
Yep. Well, in the perfect world, in the perfect world, you're absolutely right in everything you just said. Problem is we don't live in a perfect world. We don't even live in a perfect society.
It's not a
Because
perfect world.
if things were the way they were supposed to be, and men were running their households the way they were supposed to, we wouldn't have a need for mental health awareness at all, because we would all be on point. Mental health awareness is because there are so many men out there suffering and ain't talking about it. And they're not talking about the reasons behind it.
But they're
And
not
that's what
suffering
we're supposed
behind
to
the
be doing.
woman. You're suffering behind
We're talking
society. We're suffering behind
men are
society and the way society treats us, the government treats us. We're not suffering
and you
behind
don't
the
think
woman.
that. So you trying to tell me that if you dealing with the public all day, dealing with people ready to wring somebody's neck, and you get
Exactly.
home and a woman starts saying on you, if you're not ready to wring her neck,
But
that's
wait a
not going to
minute.
send you into a downward spiral.
Listen to what you just said. Listen to what you said. Taking the
I
content of what you
did.
said. You
What?
already were disturbed by the world. The woman, she might have added, but she didn't start it. You already just said the world was
I
messing
didn't
with it.
say. I didn't say that women start the problem. I said that women have the influence, positively and negatively. It can go both ways. Because a woman can be your piece.
Let me
She can
ask you
turn a
this.
bum into a millionaire.
Okay, let me ask you this. So
Hmm.
why would that woman be in a position to give you that type of feeling? What are you doing in your household to where no woman is just mad for no reason? Let me give you that right there. I ain't never met a woman who just walks around angry. Never, ever. It has to be the lack of what a man's position is being held for a woman to go to that level.
Okay, now, what I said in the beginning is that a woman has a large influence on a man's mental and emotional health, right?
That's
It
exactly.
doesn't have to be that you in a bad relationship. It doesn't have to be that the woman is in a position to where she's mad about something or the man is making her angry about something. I'm saying in general, women, starting with your mother, have the large influence on the way your mental processes. If your mother is nurturing, you look at women in a different way than if your mother is like say Diddy's mother. She was a madam. So the things that he saw growing up about how to deal with women was completely different from the things I saw growing up on how to deal with women.
Yeah.
So you try to tell me that it doesn't make a difference? Or it starts with your mother.
Well, I
And
know
then
my
as you
mom.
get older, how you
Yeah.
interact with women is determined not only by the way the women are, but a lot of times about how you grew up and how you interact with women. Because some
Yeah.
men are naturally shy and women
Yeah.
can control. Women pick up on it. So,
I
like,
grew up
I'm not saying
with
that women are the cause. What I'm
right.
saying is that a woman can influence a man. She can make a bum into a millionaire, or she can break a millionaire into a bum. It all
What if
depends on how that man
what if
is with that
what
woman.
if he doing it by himself without the woman?
He's supposed, but see, he's supposed to be working on himself, and so is she. But if you get into a relationship like my last relationship, I was working on myself, and I started to see the signs that what was going on wasn't right for me, and I could have gone into a complete downward spiral in depression and everything. Even you guys saw it.
Yeah.
Look what happened when she left. So this
But
is what I'm saying. This is the one
yeah.
part of the mental health that we never talk about is how a woman can actually affect a man because they do in so many different ways. And it's
Yeah.
not just your wife, your girlfriend, your mother. It's your work relationships, the people you deal with, your coworkers, people you meet on the street.
I
It
can't
could be a
see
woman
that.
that ain't got nothing to do with you can say something to you that changes your whole attitude for the day.
I grew up in a different environment than you, brother, because I've never allowed, like if I broke up with a woman, yeah, I felt a little something, but I tell you about a week later, I'm right back in the goddamn game. My
Yep.
uncles wouldn't allow me. My homeboys, the dudes that I grew up around, bro, they was straight up mutts, dogs. Man, we did not care about none of that. We was not them type of dudes. We was never gonna allow a woman to crush anything that we had going on. All of us pretty much were athletes. We were the star athletes. So just think about that by itself. If everybody around you is a celebrity in their own mindset, in their own right, I hung out with dudes who were the stars, the captains of the teams, the leaders in the neighborhoods. I didn't hang out with dudes who was just regular. All my friends were older than me. Everybody that I hung out with, they were pretty much 2 years or 5 years older than me. My uncles had two and three women standing right next to each other. You know what I'm saying? So a woman crushing anything of mine, a woman trying to belittle me or do any of that, I would look at her and laugh. Like, really? Me? You got to be kidding me. Not me, baby. So I don't understand. That's why I'm trying to get the clarity of what you're talking about. But I understand because you said of the last relationship. So I get that part of it. But the
But
way
what
you
I'm saying is,
the way you grew up, that should have determined how
but
any
everybody's not
relationship
growing up
goes.
the same way. Because I grew up in a household full of females. I was the only male. So I
Okay.
definitely got my rearing or upbringing was completely different from yours because I didn't have the uncles and everybody to fall back on. So I
I
deal
got
with women differently than I deal with you. But
got
90% of the men in the world have grown up differently from the others.
right.
We haven't all had the same kind of experiences. We haven't
No.
all been taught how to go out and chase, collect phone numbers, how to be hopping from bed to bed, how to do any of that. That
Yeah.
all is a learned behavior.
Yeah.
And
True
a
that.
part of that affects our mentality. So it's always going to affect how we treat women in the future. You
Yeah.
get done wrong in a bad relationship. I mean, you got athletes now that are going through problems with their women, and it's like they boys like, man, how could you let her do that to you? Why do you feel this way? You can ask the question, but how he was raised, a lot of things about his background are going to determine how this woman can affect his mentality.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I still
that's
Yeah.
a
disagree.
big part of it. Why? Go
I
ahead,
still
let me hear
disagree
it.
because I don't feel that a woman can affect a man's mentality. I feel like they can infect a man's mentality
Right.
because
True.
I grew up. I have a lot of girl cousins, and two-parent household, okay, whatever. So I watched the way how my dad treated my mom, and yet I went totally different. And he was a gentleman.
Right.
Because
Hmm.
first off, look at me. I'm not bragging, but I can have anybody I want. It's been like that since I was a kid.
Go
So
ahead,
it's like
Diddy.
I never had an issue with, dealing with women who were gonna sit up there and try and tarnish my name or my character or whatever. And it's like, even if they try to play that game, then it's like, I don't know if it's something else, but I don't have that tolerance. So you ugly. Okay.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that shit won't affect me or it won't infect me
Right.
because it also matters like what you let inside your mind or what you let inside your head. Because
Right.
a grown woman is
Absolutely.
not gonna sit up there and try and manipulate a grown man. They have some of them out there that try, but you can't
Yep.
break them down.
Right. Right.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
a
And I
lot of
like
that is
that.
also learned, right?
That
Because
was
over
learned.
the years, like I've been through relationships, like I say, I grew up in a household with 7 females, so
Right.
I respect women a lot differently than a lot of men. Cause I'm always thinking the way I treat this woman, would I treat my sisters that way? And I ain't trying to sleep with my sisters or any of that, but the same kind of respect and the way I talk to them is the way that I talk to my sisters. And a lot of times I'll let stuff go because my sisters, they get crazy sometimes. They want to argue, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Just tolerate shit. And because of that, I tolerate bullshit from women that I shouldn't have tolerated.
Right. Right.
That was
Right.
my upbringing.
Right.
Fortunately, my mental is strong enough that it just sent me into depression or anxiety or worrying about what somebody says because I know who I am. But you got men that are suffering every single day because of that. They don't have that self esteem. They don't
Right.
really know who they are. And being with the wrong woman can influence or infect the man to the point that he doesn't even know who he is.
Do you have
And
low
tell me this is
self-esteem?
not a recipe. Who, me?
Yeah.
Nope.
Have you ever
But a
had it?
lot of men do. Nope.
Okay. So do you believe that beauty lies mostly on the outside or inside?
I think it's more on the inside.
More on the inside.
But now when I'm out chasing after women, I don't see the inside. I see the outside first.
But do you feel that you're attracted to beauty?
Yeah.
So how did you end up with your ex-wife then? Because she was not. I'm just saying. They say beauty lies on the inside, right? But
Yo,
ugly is to the bone.
yo.
That's
I, you know,
right.
you know how they
Did
say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right?
he go hard?
So there were some things about her that attracted me more than her looks.
Voodoo?
Body wise, but it could have been. You never know. It could have been a curse,
It was a
but
curse. Because if
eventually
I
the
was you,
curse
I
wore
wouldn't
off.
even. First off, I wouldn't even show her any mind or pay her any attention. But at the same time, your art, like just like they have women, well, it's my something that's telling me about you is like men have that same thing, intuition. So it's like you could everybody peep game, everybody put up a great game too. But at the same time, it's like, man, depending on the aura of the person, like if I'm just gonna be with you for the night, okay, that's cool. But life, bitch, no.
Yeah. And that's a large part of that, being tolerating something I shouldn't. Because that relationship should not have gone past a week. But I look at you like, okay,
It
well,
shouldn't have went past a day,
it
but the way
don't
that you
matter.
was raised and you was respecting women, I'm willing to give you that credit.
Yeah.
Maybe you decided, hey, she's not a looker, but you know, great personality, whatever. So you ended up with her. I'm glad the relationship is over with, because I've noticed that you've grown a lot verbally and mentally since we've had this cast going on. So it's like everything is good. I'm just saying, like, you learn from people's mistakes, other people learn from other people's mistakes, so you don't make them.
Right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just believe that in my heart of hearts that if I grew up in a house like me, I grew up in a house with my sister and my mother. And I had a stepfather, but he wasn't just like, he was just pretty much a statue in the household.
Wow.
And I just pretty much looks at it like it's a choice. It's like I didn't have a man to raise me to be a man, so I had to go find out what it is to be a man myself. Right. So that's when I took an initiative to say, hey, I got jumped into 7th grade by these two guys, and I told myself I'd never let nobody touch me again. Nobody will ever put their hands on me. So that's when I went into beast mode of, I don't care how it go down, it's finna go down. And then that's when I went on the hunt of being a man. And I didn't know what man was, because all I seen was, like I said, was my uncles and them over there had 2 or 3 women. I seen my homeboy and them, they'll fight at the drop of a hat. They and we all sat around and we talked the you know, the girl story. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how I treat my sister and them, if you're not my sister and them, I got 3 sisters, but if you're not none of them or you're not my mother, you're not getting that same respect. Regardless of, hey, I wouldn't want nobody to know. Ain't nobody gonna treat my sister like that, because I'm giving her the game. Or my uncles and them giving her the game. See, it's like I raised my daughters to be game tight. Hey man, now, Dad, they call me Daddy. What you think about this? Now, baby, he trying to run this or he trying to do that. We don't raise. I don't raise none of my girls. None of my girls are soft. They tougher than they boy. They tougher than they dudes. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even the fact of I don't want to do this because I won't worry about my sister. Man, my sister done beat up 2 girls at one time. So I know we is not having no problems with no dudes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's just the fact of, you know, I think that maybe if you did have one homeboy who did have uncles and stuff like that, maybe I would have been more pulling to them, you know, or in your situation, that's all I'm saying. Because in my situation, that's what I did. I was always going around the guys who had brothers, who brothers had brothers, or if my sister's friend, if one of her homegirls had a brother, I'd be hanging out with him, or you know what I'm saying. I was always going where the fellas was at, because I got tired of hanging with my mom and my sister.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you had a house full of women, I would have been around a group of dudes.
I was out most of the time, 90% of the time, but still, the way I treat my sisters was the way that I treat all women.
Yeah,
I just been that way. But it's not like I spent every day, all day around my sisters. But once I turned 10, I spent 90% of my time outside practicing martial arts.
Right.
From the sun up to sundown, if I wasn't in school.
Bruce Lee.
That's what I wanted to do. I played football. I did all kind of stuff. But it's still just the way it's the way I view women mentally was the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And I think that's what it is with a lot of men.
Right.
Because we all don't have the same type of upbringing, and we all don't have fathers in the household, uncles and stuff like that. But I spent
Yeah.
time around men. I learned a lot of the game from men. They weren't my uncles, but they were men in the neighborhood. They decided they
Right.
take me under their wing because they saw some potential.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Because I mean,
Yeah.
like my daughter's 24, and I mean, well, actually, she's 23, but ever since she was in junior high, like when she was in ROTC and everything, you know, I was always like, she'll always invite me to those dances or whatever. So it's like, my daughter, like, she'll tell anybody, my dad's my best friend. Because my daughter said it's kind of like Keith's daughter, like, no guy's gonna sit her there and try and run game on her. Because
mm-hmm.
she already know what the deal is. And, you know,
Yeah.
she'll call me, ask me a question. And it's like, she's been out with me like a couple of times, like, you know, daddy-daughter dates and whatever. And our daddy-daughter date consists of us talking, going out to eat, then going to the gun range. So it's
Right.
like, we good. So
Nice.
when she did talk
Yeah.
to some guys and they was trying to run it, she already knew what time it was.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
not saying that we don't, that I don't have mental breakdowns or mental depressions at times. Because when my mama died and then my cousin died and then my daddy died, I was in a depressed state like a mug because I was looking for somebody to hold on to or looking for a friend in these females, but they wasn't the same type of female. They wasn't friend material. They was trying to be with me on a whole different level. And
Yeah.
I was just trying to
Right.
find my mama, or I was just trying to find my cousin, or you know what I'm saying? That was pretty much the lowest point in my life. But other than that, um, I've always did a mental check on myself for the last 6 to 7 years that I've been out here in these streets, man, and that I had to do a mental check every day now that I don't go backwards, that I don't get off into a funk, because it's like we have too many black men that's committing suicide. We got too
Right.
many, like you say, depressed that don't speak about things. So when you find yourself, like in 2015, I felt like I was about to have a stroke because of the relationship that I was in. And it was just like I had to really sit back and get away from that person because that wasn't what I was supposed to be feeling. And you're not supposed to feel that type of stress in a relationship. So with me,
Right.
I hurry up and back myself out of it. Even though we was still in the same house, I wouldn't attach my feelings to her like that.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
wouldn't allow
Emotionally, you was up.
I wouldn't allow the conversation to get disrespectful. I would always be cordial. Hey, yeah, yeah. And then I would, we work different hours, so we rarely seen each other. You know what I'm saying? So it was
Mhm.
good too for that point. But that's when
Right.
I realized. That's when I really realized that I have to always do a mental check. I always have to
Yes.
start watching how I'm in and out of relationships. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
can't get in relationships that's stressful because that's gonna keep me into a bad space. And me
Right.
going to a disrespectful woman, I see red because I feel like if you can run your mouth like a man, in the mouth like a
You
man,
get treated like a man.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I can drag you up and down the street, but then I haven't did that. So I say, you know what? Let me just step away. Now it's all about inner peace with me, just to say, hey, you know what? Nah, I can't do that. I can't even be involved in this situation. So hopefully the guys who are going through that can hear this and say, hey, you know what? Let me just be silent. Let me walk away. Let me not blame anybody for anything that's going on with me. That's what I'm saying as
Exactly.
far as about, how you were speaking about those men, those women interrupting or infecting. And I'm like, I have to be that type of man to say, hey, no, I can't allow that to interact with whatever I'm got going on. It's like the government, it's like the society,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? I can't allow outside sources to infect me with all of that because I've seen it. Once you've seen
Absolutely.
it so many times, once the cycle has repeated itself on multiple occasions, how can you allow it to still affect you, and how can you allow that type of conversation to be part of your program? Because I can't even allow certain conversations to be had around me to where I'm just like, oh, wait, I don't want to hear that. No, y'all go back over there with that. I don't even want that type of conversation around me. So that's where I'm at in my peace journey, and my journey is all together to where me being the man that I am, I don't even want certain conversations around me, because that means that, just like you said, it can influence you, it can affect you, infect you, it can have you doing things that you don't want to do, because you allow people to keep on talking like they talk around you. When you're on a growth journey, you got to shut people down and be like, hey, I'm in this space right here, and I would greatly appreciate it if we can change the conversation.
Right.
You know, so it's like with me, I have to make sure that I'm in control of my environment. So that's why if I'm at your house, or if I'm at Didi's house, or if I'm at anybody's house, if the conversations get to the point to where we're not talking about progress, and we're not talking about healthy things, I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, you know, I'm about to get ready to bounce, man. I appreciate, you know, you letting me come through. I'm finna do my thing though. See what I'm saying? So
yeah, absolutely.
When guys start talking about outside sources interfering in their inside voice or their inside thought process, I have to look at them as suspect, because that means they're still not emotionally intelligent enough or emotionally in control of themselves. They're still letting outside sources control their inner environment, and that's not a healthy thing.
Right.
That's why you get depression. That's why you get the suicides. That's why you get these type of things, because you are allowing outside sources to interact with your inside.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
And that's one
See, on that, we're in 100% agreement. Only thing is, we're out here, we're talking to those men who are not in that position yet, or who are on that journey to get to that position.
But that's where awareness.
We all want to be there.
You just said awareness. So this is the awareness platform to bring that. So they might not be on that, but just like Tupac, my favorite quote, I might not be the one who changed the world, but at least let me spark the brain that changes the world. So if I can spark the brain of a man who's growing, I'm gonna say who's growing through that situation, to where he's being mentally disturbed, he's wanting to hurt himself, or he's in a depression state. So if I can give him this type of game to where it'd be like, say, brother, what you need to do is step back, take a breath, and say, hey, I can't be a part of that. Because we all have choices. You know, we all have a choice. So if I don't want that a part of me, you have to make the choice to say, I don't want to be a part of that type of conversation. You know? And then that way right there, we can see different results.
Yeah. And that's what I had to train myself to do, because I mean, I have a short temper. Like everybody that knows me know I have a short temper. So when I feel that it's getting to that point, I'll either dismiss myself or, you know, go for a ride, you know, because substance abuse is something totally different. Like I said, 10 racks a month to maintain your peace. Starting to get out of hand. So it's like, you know what? All right, cool. So let me go ahead and do this. You know, for many men, it's the fear of being rejected, shamed, shunned, or stigmatized at work by colleagues that led men to deny or hide their mental symptoms. Like all of the above. And, you know, you just have to learn how to, I mean, I don't want to say deal and cope is one of the same, but, you know, they just need to learn how to get past your vice. So
discipline. That'll work.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
learn how to be by yourself.
A lot of us do go through substance abuse because of outside sources, outside interferences, outside people. So we'll go to the easiest thing to do is to get a drink, because you've seen your parents do it. Just like Mike said, it's all about how you was raised. If you seen your father or your stepdaddy or your brother, or you seen any man, or if you seen any woman, how they cope with the traumas, how they cope with situations is grabbing a drink or smoking a blunt, that's pretty much 99% of what you're gonna do when you get of age to do what you want to do.
Exactly.
You're right. And the reason I totally agree with that is because we also have to watch out how we do it, because, you know, depending on how you are as a person, you know, oh man, I had a bad day at work. I'm going to get a drink. Okay,
Right.
cool. Oh man, I had a great day at work. I'm going to get a drink.
Right.
Oh man, I was pissed
Right.
off, man. I'm about to go hit this line. Oh shit, I got a promotion. Turn up. Hit this line. It's like, where's the
Absolutely. Yep.
balance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's so
You're
true.
absolutely
Man.
right.
But
Yeah,
that's
man.
what.
This is. Go ahead.
Let me tell you. Let me give you some facts right quick. As of 2023, suicide rate of black men was at 14.5% out of 100,000. That's a big number. You know, 23% was white guys was at 23%, but to be at 14%, and you know, as a man, as a black man, it's like it's crazy because we've been in a state of, you know, we've been against the odds for so long. How can you be depressed at this point now? Because if you look at history, you've seen what we've grown through. So how can you be in a depression state to where you've already seen that they don't like you? It's like, bro, growing up in school, you know who likes you and who don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you be of age, at a grown age, and then you not tell your son or you not tell your nephew, hey man, you know this world is really messed up with men, right? You know, men don't really have the best end of the stick. So this is what I'm gonna look, you know, even though they don't want to listen, you still have to say it. So 5 years from now, that's in their subconscious mind. And that'll be like, you know what? Uncle Mike told me this 5 years ago, man. Or my dad told me this 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it still registers because once you hear the information, you might not remember where you heard it from, but you're like, damn, that's familiar.
Yeah.
That's familiar, you know. So we always have to say it, regardless if they listening or not. But we have to say it. You can't never put it to the point to where, oh man, these young people ain't listening to us. Remember who you were when you were their age. Did you listen?
We weren't listening. We weren't listening. Yep.
You wasn't listening.
Yep.
So the way you get to your kids sometimes is talking to their friends, because no child listens to their parent or listens to anybody that's close to their parent. Children listen to outside sources to bring back into the household.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've learned this through the study of my children. You can tell them 100 things, but they're, oh, well, daddy, it ain't like that no more. Me and my friends, oh, thank you for letting me know. Me and my friends, okay, check this out. Tell your friends to come by the house today. I'm gonna talk to all of y'all at once. But your friends are gonna be the ones who hear me. You might not hear me, but your friends will. And they're gonna be like, girl, you know what your daddy said.
I was just gonna say that it's gonna be the friends that remind them.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's like that, but I think it's the school system. But we have to realize that if we stay mentally strong, we can really figure all of this stuff out before it gets, well, I don't believe it's going to get any worse, because we done went through the worst of times with these young people. And I realized that it's more and more guys on the internet explaining to them why the YN don't matter no more. This foolishness about spinning blocks, that's not in no more. Start to look at your friends. Like this young cat I seen on the net. He was 38. He said he went into prison when he was 17, 16, and he had a basement full of young cats, telling them how none of these guys are gonna do the time with you. None of these guys are gonna be giving you money. None of these guys are gonna write you letters. So what y'all need to do is start figuring out something else to do.
Yeah.
You know? But that's where we at, man. I believe it's going to be a lot of changes because white people are starting to say that we were the original man.
Yeah.
You know, anything that we say, and then once they say it, what society do?
Oh,
Whatever the white man
yeah,
say,
exactly.
you know. Oh, the white man said
Our
we the
people
original
do.
man. Yeah, we've been saying we the original man forever, but then all of a sudden the white person said we the original man. Now y'all want to agree with it.
Yeah, and that's just
Yeah.
like when
Absolutely.
woke black folk was saying, you know, we were kings, and then white people, oh man, you know, blah blah blah. What happened to we were kings? And it's like somebody mentioned it, and now it's like, you know, they're actually starting to acknowledge the truth.
Yeah.
So why is it that the white man's word is bond versus anything else?
Psychological conditioning.
Yeah,
All the
yeah,
way
that's
back to
right.
the Bible.
That's true. Psychological conditioning, man. Brainwashed,
Yeah.
whitewashed.
Whitewashed, yeah.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's always
And
been that way.
but that's why they want to take. That's why they want to take out history, so they don't look like the savages that they are. And that's the biggest thing about us, that we don't hear anything until, I ain't gonna say all of us, but it's a majority of us don't hear nothing until a white person tells you to. And it's sad that they're conditioned that way. And I always try to explain to people that I know, man, turn the news off, because they're gonna keep giving you what they want you to hear. They're gonna tell you every bad story. They're never gonna tell you about anything good. They're gonna keep you in a fearful state to where you're not even mentally strong anymore. Now you're mentally disturbed because all you see is black people getting shot on TV. Black people done got ran over. The lady done left her black children in the car. Black kid, the black, you know, it's like you have more black stories and Hispanic stories, but you never have white stories on the news.
Yeah. Just like you said, like the news, all it does is recycle. I mean, yeah, it's important to know what's going around, but I would say do your own research.
Yeah.
Because even with the stuff and the riots that's going on in LA, okay, they kept posting the same thing about, oh man, this is going on, you know, they're taking over. And it's like all my friends that I have in Cali, I called them like, hey, you know, you good? Man, yeah, we barbecuing. Like, okay. Like, but what about the riots? That stuff that they kept airing on the news was within like a 2-block radius. It wasn't all over LA. But it's like the guy who was standing on the car with the flag and everything, and they had like 20 different cameras around him. That was one spot.
Right.
But it's like the news had people thinking like, shit, I don't want to go to LA.
Right.
All of that. Yep.
And like it was the whole LA. Yes, like you said, it was 2 blocks. It's this little downtown area. That's it.
Hey, it's called fear mongering.
Right.
They tell you about something and they blow it up so big that you think it's going on everywhere. And now you worry, and you are what? You're on the other side of the country, and you're worried about what if it happens here. Yeah.
Man.
That's when the outside forces are really controlling your mind. Because if you stop to think for a minute, you realize all the stuff that's being said. If you dig a little deeper, you'll find out the truth about it.
But we do have to start being more aware, man, of causes of death between us. The causes of death, the leading causes of death in black men in the U.S., heart disease. All that processed we eating. See, a lot of people just really don't want to grasp the point that the food is killing us. Oh man, that tastes so good though. It's like, yeah, it tastes good, but how long is it going to be in your body? And what is it doing in your body? What is the contents of it? What's actually in it? You know, like the chef, he gets the best kosher sausages, or he gets, you know, lamb, or he do duck. You know, you can pretty much understand that type of meal. But if you sitting around here cooking hog maws and fatbacks every Sunday, thinking you eating soul food, it's a problem.
Yeah.
I was listening to this guy today. he was speaking about how they used to put the cloves on top of the honey baked hams because the cloves, it kills the parasites, it kills the worms in your body. So they would put the honey in the cloves in the same, because the parasites coming to get the honey because it's sweet. But then when they nibble on them cloves right next to it, they like, oh, well, damn. But we don't even put the cloves on top no more because we're not even taught that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we're not taught to eat papayas, eat the whole papaya at one setting, you know, or just get all the seeds out of it and eat a lot of it, you know, eat all the seeds out of it. It kills the parasites in your stomach, in your body, you know. We have so many parasite killers to where when the parasite gets up in your spine and your head, that's where we confuse that. That's why we have the worst thoughts at. Schizophrenia. That's what schizophrenia is, when you parasites in your head. And then you start seeing you start seeing things, you start hearing things because you're not detoxing your body. A lot of us don't realize detoxing is a very major key in our society because of the foods we eat, because of the bacteria that still remains in our bodies. So that gives us a mental disturbance. You know, we start to become mentally disturbed more and more. But yeah, man, we have to realize heart disease, cancer, accidents, unintentional injuries, homicide is a significant factor in a lot of deaths of us. So we got a lot of things we have to really start being mindful of when we're going through our day to day.
Right.
One thing I just want people to get over: if it don't have a seed, don't eat it.
Man.
Yeah. That's so true.
Like,
so true.
Say, bro, let me tell you something, man. I had left a watermelon in the back of my truck, right? And the mud, and in this, I started seeing maggots in the watermelon.
Wow.
Because it didn't have no seeds in it. I say, what the hell? It was back there for about a day or two, and I was like, I'm looking like, what is that?
Yeah.
I say, wow.
Because that stuff is, and it's not, I'm not trying to give a cooking class, but stuff like that, it's being processed. I mean, you know, grapes, you know, things like that, okay. But, okay, I'm not going to eat an avocado, and when I break into it, there's no seed.
Yeah.
First off, how the hell was this even made?
Right.
In somebody's lab.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Even with sea moss. I mean, or you could grow your own sea moss in your pool. My pool is for swimming. Trying to grow no sea moss. Like,
yeah, you don't catch no sea moss in mine. That's too funny, man. But yeah, we have to and then the death, we are at a significantly higher rate than our females on suicide. You know, so how do we protect and provide if we killing ourselves way at a higher rate than our woman? How do we get our neighborhoods back? How do we get our, you know, it's like I tell people, don't even participate in the government, you know, voting, none of that. Oh, they gonna do what they want. I say, bro, I wouldn't they not giving you nothing, so why give them anything? I'm not telling nobody not to vote, but I'm just saying, what are you getting from the vote? Honestly. Did Mike, you done went out?
He gonna vote.
He going to vote.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just something that we have to really pay attention to, man. That everybody tell us to go vote, everybody tell us to go do things, and we still don't get no blessings from it. You know, because I believe it's a mental thing that mentally trying to get you to be in a part of a system that's not beneficial to you. So we have to really be mentally aware of what are we getting, what are we doing, what is the positioning. Is it better? Is it making us better? Is it getting us in better positions? Is it, you know?
You're right. The only thing they really give you is a sticker. That's it.
Yeah.
I voted.
Yeah.
But,
Just to say you did it. Yeah, just to say you did it.
Other
And
than
that
that,
right
like,
there ain't enough.
right. The whole thing with voting is like, you know, regardless to whoever's running the country. Like when people's like, oh man, we can't have Donald Trump doing it. Like, my lifestyle didn't change.
No,
When
not
Barack
at
was
all.
there. When
Not
Barack
at all.
lifestyle didn't change. When they had the recession and they tried to blame it on the government, I was still good, still had my refrigerator with food, still had gas, still
Right. Right.
But it's like these things, like they infect the people that, you know, entertains it or encourages it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they pass it down to you.
Yeah.
Now you mentally disturbed because you trying to figure out, you wondering what. See, a lot. That's no. You know what? That's the biggest problem of ours. We like to pass on information. Nobody likes to do the homework.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What they said. How many times do we hear that a day?
Right.
They
I'm
said
still trying to figure out who they is.
the television. The
Mm-hmm.
television. Whoever's on that television, that's who they are. And that's the information that they pass down. And we really just need to really go back to school as far as life school, not a public, not a real school, but go digging off into the life, man. Dig off into a society of people who are really being about that business, you know.
Right.
It's like me and 19 Keys. I think I already know him. You know what I'm saying? I think I grew up with him, much as I be in his on his podcast, I mean on his lives and stuff like that. Because I can relate. You know, if I can relate to you, bro, I feel like we know each other. I know we took a picture together, but that was like when he first came out. He's so strong now. It's like I don't even think I can get a picture with him right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like EYL. These guys here are teaching you financial literacy, man.
Yep.
The thing about it is, man, we have to really start back getting into our homework. Start back doing the things we really need to be doing to make us a better place, to make this a better place for us. You know?
You're right.
Yeah, but we're gonna, I believe, like I say, I really do believe that it's gonna be more and more people that's gonna start to wake up and change the narrative in their own household, because it starts in the community, you know. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. Mike, so you went and voted? You went.
Huh? What'd you say?
You said you went to go vote. That's why you blacked out.
No, I had a call. Somebody calling me, but they know I'm on the show at this time. Like, why the hell would you call? Hey.
Yeah, that's what happened to mine.
I put that do not disturb on mine, so it'll shut them straight down.
Ah, that's what I got to do then.
Yeah,
at least for the time the show. Nobody ever called me during the show.
Yeah. Nobody ever called you, Mike? Come on now, they call you, man.
Nah.
People call you.
Hey, to be honest, I don't get a lot of phone calls, and I really like it that way.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Me neither.
It ain't nobody stressing me with BS. Yeah.
Yeah, my phone rings about some money. I know it's gonna be some money on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even have, unless them spam callers and all of that. But
I got them blocked.
Yeah, I don't have nobody just calling. Hey man, what's happening? Yeah, I keep money private. Now I ain't got no whole lot of money, man. I'm chilling. I might got some money over here that you don't need to know about. Because it seems like when you're doing well and everybody see that you're outside, you're going in and out of town, you're doing your thing. Yeah, hey man, what's happening? Boy, I see you out of town. Okay, what is the conversation about though? Where are we going with the conversation? Yeah, man, I was just hollering at you. About what? What we talking about? Because you don't talk to me when I ain't doing nothing.
Right?
I went out of town the other week. I didn't even post it on the page because I don't want to hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I started to realize that just putting everything out on social media, you're gonna get a lot of fake people in your life.
Yes.
You get a lot of leeches, man. You get a lot of people who just wants to be around you because you doing good.
All the time.
You know, that messes with a man's mental health right there. That's a mental health issue. Like, what do I do? How it's like Mike say, how do I go about telling you, you know, man, get away, Mike? How do I say? I don't want to be rude. You know, but how do I tell you to get away?
Yeah, just rub your chin and turn around and walk. You don't want to go, I'll go. You can't talk to yourself. Or you can't have a conversation by yourself. I'm out.
That right there, man.
I think I'm gonna just move to Vietnam.
Now I really do want to move to Bali. I want to move to Bali or Tijuana or one of them.
No, I'm saying Vietnam because I mean
not Tijuana, but Thailand. I'm talking about,
bro. You'll never want to leave.
No,
nope, sure won't.
Nah, well, hey, man, that sounds like the place.
You can have
Thailand is beautiful.
Oh yeah,
especially outside of Bangkok. Once you get out of Bangkok,
yeah, I don't want to go to Bangkok because I heard you don't never know what's over there. You don't know what that is. You might morphidites and all of that. I don't want to be over there.
Oh, they have those in Thailand too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to be I want to be in the country hillside. I don't want to be in the. I'll go down to Bangkok if I want to have some fun, but I don't want to go live in Bangkok.
Right.
That's like living in the hood. I don't want to live in the hood.
Yeah. Right.
Nah, I was saying you can go to Vietnam and be like a damn millionaire, and you can make $500 a week in American money. Vietnam, shit. Mike, what is it? What $1 is what? $38. Oh, 38 cents.
I know. $100. Yeah, it's so cheap, man. You can go a whole month in Vietnam. You probably won't even spend over $200.
You can go to Bruce Chris out here.
Yeah.
And spend like $125 on a steak. Out there, shit, $20. 20?
$10.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Yo, paying pesos.
I tell you, man. Ooh.
What about
anywhere
Guam?
Outside of the country?
They're starting to advertise Guam a lot.
Yeah, that's because you can get there without a passport.
Right.
You know, a lot of things when they start advertising it, it's already too late to go. You got to get to the places before all the tourists start getting there.
Yeah.
Because now everything is getting to be westernized. The food, you go to a restaurant, an expensive restaurant, you're going to pay down to what you pay in America, and the food ain't even good. Right. Go to the local places. That's like where you get the best food.
When they had the white Hennessy, you had to go on a cruise or go somewhere far to get white Hennessy. Get it from the corner store now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once everybody started talking about it, yep.
Oh, let's get some white Hennessy up in here.
Thinking they're extravagant, like, nah, boy.
Yeah, I don't even go to the liquor store. I ain't been to a liquor store in I don't know how long. I go to get Publix. I go to Publix, get me a bottle of wine, and every now and then and sit down somewhere.
You know, I ain't been hitting the liquor store much either lately.
Yeah.
Like it used to be a time like every Friday after work. First thing I would do, hit the liquor store on the way home.
Like Alejandro
I don't do that no more.
Yeah, like Diddy say, man, I had a bad day. Let me hit the stove. Well, I had a good day. Let me hit the stove.
Yeah.
I'm good with myself nowadays. I don't need the alcohol no more.
But yeah, man,
it's a beautiful feeling too.
We had a great conversation on this one, man. I like it because we had some good back and forth. You know, bring awareness to where we at. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, man. Becoming a better understanding of each other and better understanding on where we can go and how we can direct traffic on where we going with the people around us anyway.
Yeah.
You know? So, man, yeah, it's been another great episode, y'all. And for y'all who don't know, go over there to YouTube, like, subscribe, and share over there. Like them videos, So, Diddy, what you got for us, man? Let me hear some of that great philosophy.
I want to say
my
that
pen ready.
I'm innocent. Those are all willing participants, and I just paid them for their time. That's it. Nah, man. Great topic as always. But tonight, especially dealing with mental health, because even though I look like I'm perfect, I used to struggle with that depression shit. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But mental health isn't just a woman issue; it's a human one. Also, awareness starts when we stop pretending that we're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mike.
True. Well, I wrote down this quote since I was thinking about the women and their effects. And it says a woman can be the mirror in which a man sees his worth or his wounds. Her words can heal or her silence can harm. In the presence of grace, a man grows. In the presence of judgment, he hides. So a lot of it's about picking the right woman.
Look
It's
at
a
you read
hard
my
job.
book, boy. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm learning.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about picking the right woman, man. We have to really just listen.
Yeah.
And like I like my boy AJ McQueen say, he said, when you look for a woman, what do you look for? You look for God in a woman. Because see, you have to be the one who looks for God as a man. So if she's looking in you, through you to the God, then things will be better. You know, then you can keep your mental safe.
Mike,
Right.
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said look for the right woman, right?
Hey, I'm already gone past that. I'm
No,
looking
I'm
for
just
the
saying.
right one now.
I'm just saying. So $40 is market value. So don't go for the 40. Go for the one that's like 150 for 25 minutes.
For real.
He said,
For
go on
real.
and pay
Go
that
for the
big money.
quality.
He said, go
Go
on
for
and
the
pay that big
quality in
money.
this situation. Yep.
Go on and pay that big money.
I hear
Quality
you.
over
I'm with
quantity.
you on that one. Quality over quantity.
Man, until next week, y'all, we gonna holler back. Thank y'all. Peace.
Peace.